You think you're the only one who is confused or who has no clue what tomorrow brings or actually where they are going with their lives. Or sometimes you even feel like, are you sure I have a purpose in this life or am I just here to support others? Anyways, the funny thing is you're not the only one who is confused. Even those people you think they are very sure of where they're going to are actually confused as well to a very large extent. But how do we break out of this confusion? How do we have this peace of heart and understand that, just like Jesus said, you should not worry about tomorrow? How do you get to that place? Because no matter how much most of us say it, we do worry. The truth is, in as far as you keep having ambitions, dreams, and all of that, which is not a bad idea. But when you say it must be like this, it shouldn't go any other way. And these ideas are coming from your mind, which are going to counter the flow of the universe. Or for the Christians, the flow of what God has in store for you. So what you think you want is not what you really need. So when you try to fight against the tide and it's not working, it's because that is not what it's supposed to be. But you keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, you are burning energy in the long run. However, when you understand that when you wake up tomorrow, it's a great deal that you woke up. From there on to the next thing that your heart fancies. What your heart fancies. It doesn't mean you have to be lazy. No. But if you feel like being lazy, yeah, it's right to feel lazy. Be lazy and relax. When you feel like pushing, you push. It's because all of the ideas and the thoughts does not really come from within, but from what people have said. Oh, you have to be strong. You have to keep pushing. Motivational speakers, not bad at all. Then you keep pushing and keep pushing on something that you do not enjoy, and in the long run, you feel miserable. You feel depressed. You feel all of that kind of thing. And they say, yeah, you will feel depressed, but you have to keep pushing. Nobody was made to come to this life to suffer and stress and die of anxiety. Or remain anxious because we have a plan and this is what we are supposed to hear. This is what society says. There was a time in life when, from Africa or in Africa, there was a time in life where you either have to be a doctor, a lawyer, any of that kind of thing, and everybody strived to be one of either of those. And when you don't get it, you are a failure. But people failed in those aspects and became musicians, dancers, social media influencers, because this creativity was never in existence in their minds as at that time. So at that point, the only things you could become was what the society placed in front of you to become. So yeah, a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't like maths. For someone like me, I don't like mathematics. So they taught everybody mathematics in school. To a large extent, I failed it. But that doesn't make me a failure in any way. But because I want to meet up with mathematics, they said before you become a doctor, you must know maths. So I have to know maths. I have frustration day and night. Yeah, I will study and I get better at it. But in the long run, do I feel good about this? Even the maths teacher is confused about their own lives. But it's funny enough that you write an exam and you fail and you feel like your life is, you should give up your life because you are not worth anything. But even the examiner who said that is confused as well. Just because they are placed in a position by society to mark you and fail you does not mean that they are success in their own ways or in their own path. They might have ended up teaching just because there's no other option for them. They feel like there's no other option. But the truth is there is always an option. But the option is not a mental thing. It's about what your heart feels, what your heart beats for. When you wake up in the morning and the only thing you like to do is brush your teeth, brush it. But because nothing like that is a career path presently, you feel like there's nothing to do with that. That's not a gift. Bro, that's not a gift. Before we discovered what social media influencing is, that people just stay and take pictures of themselves to become what do they call these guys? The those people who make sure they are lean and fitted and all of that. But anyways, we know what they are called. However, you see these people at some point ago, if you do that and standing in front of the mirror just to pose to take pictures, the parents will look at you like, what are you doing? Like, you should be studying, you should be reading, you should be doing this. Your mates are doctors, your mates are this. This is even in Africa. Now I'm coming into the world like in the UK where we are right now. Now, a lot of people have fun when they are kids. When they start to grow up, they feel like, okay, I have to start to pay bills. I have to do this and I have to do that. So I have to get a job. If I don't get a job, I can't pay bills. That's the society structure. The society structure always makes you miserable. Is the truth. Because even the people who set the structures are miserable themselves and they are looking for a way to break the system that was set. This system is set unconsciously. It's not like anybody has a footprint or a blueprint of how these things work and how it should work perfectly. But you see people commit suicide because they feel like they don't know what their life is about. People are miserable because there's a competition with the next person, even if not consciously. Oh, I'm supposed to be like this. The person is like that. Why shouldn't I be some way? But until you understand that you are in your own track and you alone have your life, and society cannot control you. They want to control you, but they cannot in reality. Only you can control yourself. Your mind is strong enough to, in fact, your mind is built up of what society has built in it over time. So where the strength comes from is your heart, which is more powerful than anything. But society has brought us up in a way where we have to grow with the mind, read books, concentrate, be focused in your life, be focused with your life. Yeah, people from Africa would understand what I'm saying when it comes to things like that. Try and pay attention when your teacher is teaching. Your teacher is miserable with what they are teaching you, by the ways. Most of them. Yeah, some you like, then enjoy. The ones you don't like, it will take strength not to say this, but yeah. The ones you don't like, push them off. Yeah. You mustn't be anything. When you wake up in the morning, you feel like sleeping. Sleep. If you want to go to work, go to work. But the thing is, it's very risky to be free in the society. Freedom is very risky. Freedom to be yourself, to express yourself when you want to express. Like the last video I made about being an expression of yourself. Like anything, any expression that you have is an expression. There's no good or bad expression. It's just an expression of you. Now, in a state of being confused of what to do or what not to do, or why am I here, why am I not here, there is no knowing. You don't have to know it in your head that this is why I'm here. Because your heart does not know anything of why it beats, it just beats. The same way your cells does not know why it destroys the other, some dies and some comes to life. Your lungs don't know why they do what they do, but they just do what they do. And they are there and they are excellent. Your breath, your lungs do not know why it breathes in and breathes out. But it flows very easily. But when you want to consciously breathe in and breathe out, like you are seeing me right now, you try it. You consciously breathe in and breathe out. Consciously do that. You'll notice there's a malfunction in your system. Like you're not comfortable anymore because now you have to consciously breathe. But yeah, when it's going naturally, you even forget that you are breathing. You don't even remember that it happens, but it keeps happening. So society makes you feel like you should know everything before you do. There should be a knowing. There shouldn't be a knowing. You don't need to know. You just need to do. That is where creativity comes from. Creativity cannot come from your mind because mind is based on knowledge, experiences past, and all of that, and the idea of the future, which is developed from the past. That's why everybody who you see that is creative or who has done big deals with themselves are people who said, get lost to the societal norms. It's not just because you want to be rebellious, but anything that does not suit your being, don't accept it. Don't flow with it because of this is the norms. It might feel a certain kind of way that, oh, I think I don't feel good about it. In as far as it's not just coming from your mind to be rebellious, but all your being is going according to a certain kind of way. Let it flow. Don't try and tame it by the ideas of the society. Long term, people would envy you because people, the things that they can't do for themselves, when they see you doing it, they try to tame you. That's how society is. They try to just lock you up in a space so everybody becomes the same. But yeah, you're not the only one who's confused. The whole lot of people are. But why are we confused? Why is there this feeling of I don't know what's going on, I'm not okay? Is because your heart is calling you into something more, into the freedom that the society can never give you, education can never give you. The only thing that can make you free is getting rid of all of this. It doesn't mean don't use them, but when you don't feel like using them, push them to the side. When you feel like going with them, go with them. And when I say feeling, I don't mean you just feeling emotions and all of that. No. There's a knowing that comes with you. You don't have to try and know in your head. There's this, you just feel it. You just understand that I feel like this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. But when you have thoughts of people saying, oh, you can't do this, or your mind says, oh, because my grandfather was not able to do this, or the society is not 100% acceptable here, yeah, then yeah, keep up with the inside of you and keep following. Understand that every step is guided. Every step that you take, every action you make is guided. It's not a right or wrong choice. There's no right or wrong, but it's just what it's supposed to be. Only then would you not have worry. Only then would you understand that the Father, like Jesus said, has, and take notes. I'm not trying to be religious or support any religion here. I'm just giving you based on what some people have said in relation to what we are seeing right now. Do not worry about what you eat tomorrow because the Father knows your needs. The birds don't worry about what they eat. The flowers don't worry about being clothed, but they are being clothed. The only beings who worry is the humans. And that's why we tend to, through our worry, try to create things, try to make things, try to change life. And the more we change life, the more we become worse and worse and worse and worse because we are not going with the flow of nature. We are trying to go contra flow with nature. So nature gave us rain. We made roof to cover ourselves from the rain. And yeah, it's not a bad idea, but yeah, now you start to pay rent. Now you have to work to pay the rent. Now you have to keep working to keep paying rent or even buy a house. Now you are thinking, oh, my rent is coming. Just so yeah, we give ourselves problems upon problems. That's the thoughts of mankind. That's where we keep going. We keep destroying what naturally should flow. There's nothing like nature, what naturally resonates with you. Find it and stick with it. And when you stick with it, it's not easy to stick with it because society would always fight. But yeah, when you don't give you don't care about society. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but yeah, you don't care about society. Only then will that thing that resonates with you become a creative thing that will become a trend that other people who don't know how to find themselves would want to follow. Only the few who understands and looks inward and vibe with how they feel and how they vibe Because only you can feel how you feel. No two people can have that exact feeling. You were made unique in your own way, but we want to follow the next person. The metabolics and everything that was made on that next person is not the same as yours. So you can't try to be that person. Listen to yourself, not like a person listening to another person. No, but letting your abilities flow. Not trying to sing like the next person as an artist or play the football like the next person. But that your skill that you think is rubbish, keep at it. It will become a trend that every other footballer wants to work with. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day and be blessed. Thank you.